She talked to him every day, for 6 entire months. He told her he was deployed overseas, serving as a soldier on a peacekeeping mission. But he was never a soldier. In fact, he never even existed. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let me be clear. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't lonely or desperate. She was just like you or me. She had a good job, a circle of friends, a normal everyday routine. She wasn't even actively looking for a relationship. She just did something we all do. She answered a message. It all started on a social media platform. The message was polite, unassuming, nothing pushy or weird about it. He introduced himself as a soldier, stationed far from home on some kind of international mission. It seemed plausible. His profile looked real. There were photos of him in uniform, but also casual pictures with friends, pictures from his supposed hometown. The timeline on his profile stretched back, making it seem established and legitimate. Nothing felt rushed, nothing felt suspicious. At first, their conversations were simple, surface-level stuff. They talked about work, what music they liked, the little details of their daily lives. He was consistent, replying at the same times every day, which made sense for someone with a structured military schedule. Slowly, without her even realizing it, a foundation of trust began to form. He was just a nice guy, easy to talk to. He painted a vivid picture of his life overseas, the early mornings, the long, demanding days. He mentioned having limited internet access, which cleverly explained any missed calls, delayed replies, or sudden periods of silence. Everything he said just made sense. And here's the crucial part. For a long time, he never asked for anything, not a single cent, no favors. All he asked for was her time and her attention. And that's how real trust grows, isn't it? Quietly and patiently, through shared moments and consistent presence. Over weeks that turned into months, the nature of their conversation shifted. They moved past the small talk and into more personal, emotional territory. He was an incredible listener. He remembered the small details, the name of her boss she complained about, the funny stories she told about her cat. He always knew when she was having a bad day, and he always knew exactly what to say to offer comfort and reassurance. He became her confidant, her digital shoulder to lean on. He started talking about the future, a future that included her. He'd talk about all the things they would do when he finally returned, the places they would go, the simple things like cooking a meal together or just watching a movie. He talked about coming home, about starting a new life, and it all felt so tangible, so real. She could almost picture it. He wasn't just some stranger on the internet anymore. He was a part of her life, a part of her future plans. Then, after months of this careful build-up, the first problem appeared. It was a supposed delay in his return. An issue with paperwork, he said. A bureaucratic snag. He sounded genuinely frustrated, embarrassed to even bring it up. He was reluctant, almost ashamed to ask, but he needed a small amount of money to clear a fee. He promised to pay it back the moment he got home. She hesitated, of course. It was a red flag, but by then, she was so emotionally invested. She had spent months building this connection. So she sent the money. After that first time, everything changed. It was like a dam had broken. There was always another issue, another unexpected delay, another administrative fee. Each new request sounded just as plausible and just as urgent as the last. Each one came wrapped in apologies, reassurances, and more promises of their future together. She had already invested so much emotionally, and now financially. Walking away at that point felt impossible. It felt like giving up on him, on them, on the future he had so carefully painted for her. The doubt didn't hit her like a lightning bolt. It crept in slowly, like a fog. Small inconsistencies in his stories, excuses that started to sound a little too familiar. Her gut feeling was screaming that something was wrong. She started to do her own research, a little digital detective work. She ran his photos through an image search. And there they were. The same pictures, plastered across the internet on different profiles, with different names, different stories. The man in the photos was a real person, but his identity had been stolen. The person she had been talking to was a ghost. She confronted him. She sent him the screenshots, the proof. She demanded an explanation. But he didn't argue. He didn't try to explain or lie his way out of it. He just disappeared. The profile was deleted. The messages stopped. The phone number went dead. The entire world he had built, The future he had promised vanished overnight. What was left behind was a deafening silence and a profound sense of loss. It wasn't just about the money, though that was significant. The real damage was emotional. She wasn't foolish. She was manipulated, systematically, patiently, and expertly over a long period of time. These scams, these romance cons, they don't really rely on sophisticated technology. They rely on human nature. They rely on our capacity for trust, on our need for connection. They exploit our emotions. They weaponize patience. Behind every profile, every friendly message, there can be a carefully constructed lie, a performance designed to disarm you and steal more than just your money. This wasn't a whirlwind romance that went wrong. This was a digital lie from the very first hello. It's a story that's tragically common, but we don't talk about it enough because of the shame victims feel. But the shame doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the people who exploit human kindness for their own gain. Recognizing these tactics is the first step in protecting yourself and the people you care about. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust your instincts. Thank you for listening to this important story. If you found this helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content that helps us all stay a little bit safer in this digital world. Stay aware and stay safe.